Hi, I'm Eric Lee, and I'm here to share with you this week's reading, which I call A Different Spirit. Now, as we start, let me ask you this. Can you guess who were these Old Testament leaders? Go ahead, you can pause the video and check out, see where you recognize them. No? This is hard, though, I have to admit. But maybe give you a hint. Does this help? Well, these 12 people were the 12 scouts of Israel that were sent out in Numbers 13 and 14. They were all the main leaders of their tribes, so they are considered Joshua and Caleb's peers. So they experienced the same things, the same slavery in Egypt, the same miracles from God, getting out of Egypt to the promised land, and also the same promised land. But somehow, the 10 of them perceived all these things so differently from Joshua and Caleb. So much so that their words was enough cause of rebellion in Israel. What's the difference though? Well, for Joshua, you might say it's easy because he was Moses' attendant and disciple, so he got to see firsthand the interactions between God and Moses. What about Caleb? Well, in Numbers 14, verse 24, God said that Caleb had a different spirit. What was that different spirit? I believe it was because both of them didn't keep looking back to the past, so much so that they wanted to go back. But instead, they kept looking forward to God's promise, and also that were full of the Holy Spirit. Like Paul told Timothy in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline." The keyword being power here. And also the results of this, you get a different leader, and we can see from the example of Moses. Now, he was betrayed and rejected outright by the people who wanted a new leader to take them back to Egypt. And God even told Moses, "I will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they." So he was going to reset Israel, starting with Moses, if Moses wanted it. And what was Moses' reply? For me, I believe that he was testing Moses to see how Moses would react. And he passed, because he chose to intercede for them, begging God to forgive them right after they had betrayed him. And why was the test needed? Because now, at the lowest point of his leadership, he still chose to forgive them. And he was now ready to lead them back into the desert for the next 40 years. That is a true leader. Okay, but how do we go along to cultivate that different spirit? Now, God promises Joshua that he will be with him just as he was with Moses, right? And so he promised him that I will not fail you nor forsake you. And he reminds Joshua many times to be strong and courageous. So that's one of them, to be strong and courageous. But there was one time where God told Joshua to be very strong and very courageous. And that was to observe all the laws and don't turn from it, so that he will have good success. Interesting, yeah? That God said Joshua needed more courage to observe all his laws than was to conquer Canaan. Amazing. But when we do that, and God has called you to do that, God will go before you. So we are walking in his ways and we obey what he has told us. He will go before us and prepare the way for us. Just like the 90s song by Don Moen. God will make a way where there seems to be no way. I hope you are blessed by this reading.